All right, I see that we are live on Facebook and Zoom. Yay! All right, thank you everybody for showing up for our second installment of Waunakee Can We Cook? And I am super duper excited about today's event. We have Eugenia Mazza from Cibu's Italian Market here in Waunakee. And she is going to guide us through a pesto dish today. And Eugenia, you have to say what it is because I cannot pronounce it.
The name is pesto alla trapanese.
Okay, pesto alla trapanese.
Trapani is a town in Sicily.
Oh,
so
okay.
Pesto from Trapani.
Okay, yummy. And this is like the best season to make pesto because everyone's been growing their basil all season, and the freeze doesn't happen. Yep, and tomatoes, exactly. So it's perfect season for that. So anyway, okay. So to get us started, let's talk about all the things that we need to have on hand in order to execute this dish. Okay, so
yes.
Let's start with like the dishes.
So let's start first with the almonds.
Okay.
I have here the almonds already peeled, but if you haven't peeled them yet, I will recommend to get a little pan with water, put it on the stove right now, and have that going and boil. I had already done it, and you see at the end, once you take the almonds out of the pan, they will come out really easily, if you can see. And if 2 minutes after the water boils, you put the almonds. 2 minutes is more than enough.
Okay. So we're gonna get like, okay, so get a small pot of water, maybe like a cup and a half of water, boil it, add the almonds with their skins on, boil for 2 minutes, and then take them out and you just squeeze them and the skins slip right off, right? Okay.
And also we recommend to put already your
pot of water
for
the pasta. Okay.
And have it also going.
Okay. And do you salt the water at this point?
Not at this point.
Not at this point.
Later.
Okay.
The pasta is in.
Okay. Yeah. Because then that's
because it consumes less salt, and we don't want to eat too much salt, right?
That's right. Okay. And then your other.
This is the first thing. Other ingredients.
Okay.
So we need garlic.
Okay.
And I use just 1 clove of garlic.
You just have 1 clove of garlic there.
More because in the original recipe, this sauce was called garlic sauce.
Okay.
So this was a sauce full of garlic.
Okay. So peel just 1 clove of garlic, unless you want a lot, unless you want it to be really garlicky, then 2 or 3.
Put much more.
Okay.
And then I have some basil here, more than I needed, but I really enjoy basil, so I put a little bit more.
Okay.
Choose, even if you have a little bit less. It's it's a flexible recipe. So.
Okay. So like I'm just looking at how much basil we have here. Like if I were to like scrunch it down, I'd say that's like 2 cups of basil about.
I would say so.
Okay, but you don't think you even need that much?
Need it that much.
Okay.
Yeah. In the recipe start, I think 10-15 leaves.
Okay.
Of basil.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm not enough, but
okay.
You can do it without it.
Okay.
Then, if you remember, in the basket there was this cherry tomato can.
Yes. Okay.
I drained it a little bit because there is a lot of juice in it.
And I
don't want it too liquid for my pesto.
Okay.
So I drain it.
So you drain a can of cherry tomatoes. Okay.
Just the cherry tomatoes here.
Okay. Is this 1 can here? Am I looking at, or am I looking? Okay. Sounds good.
Here.
Okay. And then you've got some cheese.
Then I got some cheese. This is pecorino cheese.
Okay.
Pecorino cheese is a little different than Parmesan cheese because it's made with sheep milk.
Oh, okay.
And so it has a little different taste.
Okay.
Not
but
everybody
if you
likes it, but if you don't have the pecorino cheese and have Parmesan cheese,
it's
totally fine.
It's okay. Yeah.
In fact, the original recipe of pesto, pesto from Genoa, is with the Parmesan cheese.
Oh, okay. And that should be grated, right?
It should be grated, yes.
Okay.
If you could grate it before, it's of course much better.
Okay. And we don't need any fresh cherry tomatoes for this recipe or anything like that. All the cherry tomatoes that we need are in that can.
If you have fresh cherry tomatoes, or even if you have San Marzano tomatoes, If you have other tomatoes, then you cut it in small pieces. Of course, this is was in the basket, but I'm saying people that are watching right now can use their tomatoes from their gardens, so whatever they want.
Okay, because I think maybe not everybody watching bought the kit from the
it would be
store.
Better to peel the tomatoes, and not have all the skins,
the tomato.
But yes,
but not a
but
huge
it's not
deal.
So necessary. So
okay, all right, and then the last thing.
One last thing that you need, very important, is olive oil.
Well,
here you don't see it, but inside there is olive oil.
Okay, extra virgin olive oil.
Extra virgin olive oil, of course, will give the taste of the dish.
Okay.
And salt.
Okay, salt. Okay, and then I keep going to this. This is not something that everybody has, but tell us what this is.
This is a mortar. Actually, it's not exactly a traditional one that they use in Italy. I bought it here. It's used to make a guacamole, so it's the Mexican version. It works.
Okay.
It works. And so this is what originally this was made. And a lot of people still make their pesto with the mortar. But if you don't have it.
So if you don't have a mortar, which I don't at home, but I have made pesto before. So there's two other options that work really well. One is an immersion blender. So if you have one of those like wand blenders that you stick into a pot of soup and like puree it, you can use that. Or just a good food processor, or even like a Vitamix or something. Anything that'll like, slice up something like super fast.
There is just one thing that I would recommend if you use a metal blender or something, is to maybe put it in the fridge, just the metal part.
Put the
blades in the fridge.
Okay.
So when they're cold, they reduce the oxidation process with the basil.
So
the color of the basil will stay green.
Interesting.
Not decay the colors.
Okay, well that's a good tip. Okay, so put your blade in the fridge for a few minutes or whatever. Okay, all right, so start us off. So we've got our pot boiling in the background. I can hear that going. Okay.
So we'll put the garlic first.
Okay.
And then the almonds.
Okay.
And
you're using all the almonds, right?
I will use all the almonds.
And how many?
I usually always put more than the recipe calls for.
Okay.
And then the salt.
Okay. And that's just kind
Sometimes
of the
salt that they use is a little thicker salt, but I don't have it.
Okay.
Then I start. Sometimes the almonds could jump out.
Okay.
Jump out of the mortar, but
I guess like if I had to say how many almonds you're mashing up here, what do you think? Like 20, 30? Maybe?
No,
not that many. 20. Okay.
Yeah. More than that.
Yeah, it was a cute little pack that came with the
kit.
The kit, yeah.
But if you even the almonds that are not toasted, these were toasted almonds, but regular almonds are even better.
Okay. So you're obviously from Italy. I think that's probably pretty clear. And so you must have such a library of awesome recipes. And so tell us about this recipe, like what made you pick it and what's kind of the history of it? Or
yes, I think this is other than be a very quick and fresh recipe. It has a long history, so it's an old recipe that goes back to the 10th century actually in Sicily. And Trapani, the place where this recipe takes the name, has a big harbor, and so a lot of sailors arrived in Trapani, and sailors from Genoa is a town in north part of Italy, came to Trapani and brought a dish, and this dish was made of garlic. It was a sauce made of garlic and basil.
Okay.
Once arrived in Sicily, then the Sicilians, who are very creative people, wanted to add their products, the products that are very common in Sicily.
Yeah.
And the almonds is one of these products. So the traditional pesto from Genoa has pine nuts.
Yeah, that is like, yeah, I was gonna say that's usually what I see.
But the Sicilian pesto has almonds
Mm-hmm.
and has basil too.
Yeah.
And then adds the tomatoes. While the
Okay.
pesto from Genoa is green. This one we will see has the color of a little bit of kind of a pinkish color.
Oh, okay.
We'll say. So it's a very old pesto.
Yeah.
Old recipe too.
All right. So you got this thing like
I got
down to a paste kind of, huh? Okay.
Now we add this, and we also add the oil, extra virgin olive oil. Okay.
So I'm guessing, I'm thinking that you added maybe about 10 basil leaves and about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, you think, or a tablespoon and a half?
I like that you bring me back into quantity, because that's the way I cook. Sometimes I don't follow recipe. And I just go with
I know. There's certain, like, I mean, with experience, you can kind of figure out like how much stuff to add, but not all of us are as slick in the kitchen as you are. So I gotta know some of these. And so again, if you don't have a mortar and pestle, is that how you say it? Pedestal, whatever. Anyway, then you could use a food processor or immersion blender, and you would just, for this, you would literally probably put all of the ingredients in at once and then and blend it. Because you'll need the olive oil in the food processor to give it something. To give it some consistency to work with. All right, and you're adding more basil leaves. So we're probably up to like a packed cup of basil leaves at this point.
And I use my muscles.
Yeah, impressive. And are you like, okay, so then you're gonna just maybe add some more olive oil and just olive oil. You're trying to get a certain, it looks like you're after a certain consistency, right?
Yes.
Like you want to have it sort of as a
creamier.
Okay.
Even though you still need to feel the little crunchiness of the almonds. You know, they're not gonna be. That's why the best consistency you can reach is through the mortar, because you never know with the blender you get the sense of a little. So you're kind of after like a paste, like a wet, loose paste consistency. Would that be about accurate? Okay. I could add a little bit more, though. Why not? More basil, better.
Yeah.
Basil.
Where did you get your basil from today?
From my garden.
From your garden.
Yes. And lucky that it's still there, because with the cold weather, it's gonna turn bad pretty soon. Yeah.
So do you have problems with Japanese beetles landing on your basil?
Sometimes, yes. Now I put it very close to the house so that at least I can keep an eye, and sometimes the beetles don't get to it.
Yeah. But I know, that's so frustrating. I feel like no matter where I grow my basil, that's always the issue that I run into.
All right. So see how, if you want to see. How it's going.
Yeah, okay. So it's like pretty much like a paste.
Cream of what?
And you use extra virgin olive oil on here, and
with extra virgin olive oil,
I'd say up to now you're maybe up to like a quarter cup of extra virgin olive oil. Yeah.
And it keeps also the basil nice and fresh with the olive oil. Keeps it green.
Yeah. Trying to get a good camera angle of the consistency.
Now I will go and check the water for the pasta.
Oh, okay.
And maybe we can. The water is boiling.
Okay.
And if you
Yeah,
have
ready?
this pasta, you can of course do the pesto, Sicilian pesto with other kinds of pasta.
Yeah. And what kind
We're
of pasta
using
is this
because
again?
this is a traditional. The name of this pasta is bussiata.
Okay.
We can also say where the bussiata, where actually the term bussiata is coming from.
Uh-huh.
And actually, this pasta, as you can see, it's not easy to make.
Yeah.
And the bussi were kind of like this. I found this, but it's not exactly this.
Okay.
But they were using this to make
They
roll
would-
around.
Oh,
the
okay.
dough, and these were called bussi.
Oh, so that's how it's got its
So
name.
nowadays,
Okay.
they're making the bussiata pasta, the fresh one,
Mm-hmm.
with using toothpicks, you know, the long one, like for
Yeah.
long toothpicks.
Okay.
So we're using
I'm gonna zoom in on your on
the
the
pasta.
yeah, so people can see what it is.
So this is a little fragile pasta. I will recommend you can break.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that the water is boiling,
Yeah.
I'm going to turn it down a little bit so
Okay.
that still boils, but not too much. And now that I'm putting the pasta in it, I try to be gentle, but still break, unfortunately.
Yeah, those are like long, very long
Yes.
pieces.
Now
but-
I add salt, and I will add abundant salt.
Wow. All right.
Yes.
That's a lot of salt.
Yes.
I mean, that's probably how you're supposed to do it. I guess I just never saw
it's
someone else.
important because the pasta needs to absorb the salt. The other thing
Okay.
I will do, I will put the timer, and I will put to 7 minutes.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, and I'm sorry, if you got the bussiata from the store, the cooking time says 12 minutes. But it's too
Okay.
much.
That's too much. Okay, good to know. So
Put
7 minutes.
Usually 8 minutes is good. 7 minutes is probably going to be still strong. So,
Okay.
well, I will not stir it too much. I will just try to
Just gently move it around so it doesn't
that
stick
will
to
not-
itself. Yeah.
will not break.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And so, yeah. Okay. So you had a pot of boiling water. We didn't add the salt until after the pasta. I know if I add salt before my water is boiling, it pits the bottom of my stainless steel
I
pans.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
you
that's
learned
another
that the hard way. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it does it to everything. I think it just does it to
Just to
stainless
that.
steel. Yeah.
So now I'm going to add the tomatoes.
Oh, okay.
I'm adding tomatoes, and I have to add salt.
Okay. And you kind of got, I mean, it sounds like I get the feel that you kind of know how much salt to add, but
Yes.
for
but
people who
sometimes-
aren't sure,
Yeah,
you can just taste it in the end,
you have
right?
to- you have to taste it. I will also. I don't know 100% if. Also depend if your cheese is a little salty or not.
Oh, yep.
How much salt you put in the pasta and the water. So sometimes I prefer to put more salt in the pasta water than less in the.
Yeah, good point.
But this is now more or less how it's gonna look.
Okay.
I will actually put all the tomatoes in it.
Mm-hmm. This is so interesting because
And I
I've
will
never thought
add
about making
A little bit more.
pesto with tomatoes.
Exactly. It's not traditional, but it's
I bet it's, I know it's going to be delicious. I trust you 1,000%.
it is gonna be delicious because you can't really make mistakes with these ingredients.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whatever happens, I'm sure that everybody's gonna be able to make a delicious dish.
Yeah.
Even if they don't follow exactly.
And you added a little bit, did I see that you add a little bit more olive oil again
I
after?
keep adding a little more
Yeah.
olive oil. That's also the secret of how you make everything stick together.
Yeah.
The creamier
Okay.
is the olive oil.
Okay. Because you want, I can definitely see the consistency now. It's like a
and
thick
as you
soup.
can see, also the color
Yeah.
is a little
Beautiful.
pinkish.
Mhm.
It's not red. And if I had put all the juice from the tomato, maybe it would have been
Yeah.
more red.
Yeah. So I want to talk about our wine selection.
Ooh,
I
yes.
almost
Once you
forgot
have
about.
this dish with the garlic and everything.
Yeah, so
this
Bricks
wine.
340 helped us out to pick some wines that would go beautifully with this dish. And so we have a red and we have a white. And so Bricks 340 is recommending for the red, I'm going to say this so wrong, Primitivo.
Very
Wow.
good. That's a good pronunciation.
It doesn't sound as good coming off my tongue. Okay, and then they also have a white, which you're gonna have to say this one. There's no way.
This is called Vermentino.
Okay.
And it's a wine from Sardinia.
Okay. And they're both Italian wines.
Both Italian wines.
And so just reach out to Tony at Bricks 340 and he will hook you up with these delicious wines. You can email him or go through his website. Yep.
More how to explain how these wines can go well with the dish, but
yeah, I'm sure I'm not gonna attempt to pretend that I can describe that well.
I will go and check on the pasta.
So for people who are just catching up, so far Eugenia has in this mortar, she's blended together probably about 20 basil leaves, probably about a quarter cup or maybe even more of olive oil, all of the cherry tomatoes from the can of cherry tomatoes. She drained the cherry tomatoes first so that she just had the tomatoes themselves, none of the juices or anything that were in the can. And she's added some salt along the way and all of the almonds. And she skinned the almonds to start with. So she boiled the almonds in a little bit of water for about 2 minutes. And then they just slip out of their skins after that. You just kind of have to pinch them and then they slip right out of their skins. And so she's just been working on mushing this all up together. Again, if you don't have one of these at home, you can use an immersion blender to blend everything up together at once, or you can use a food processor.
Very good.
All right.
Now, in about 2 minutes.
2 minutes left on our pasta. And are you going for like al dente? Is that sort of the texture?
Because I wanted to be able to mix it just for 1 minute in a pan. And this sauce doesn't need to be
need to cook. Yeah.
Doesn't need to cook. So, but a little bit warmer with the pasta, and I wanted to mix together. So.
Okay. And so am I right that, Italians always call for the pasta to be cooked al dente so that it absorbs some of those flavors as the last step of cooking?
Yes. The pasta has to be al dente.
Okay. And, all right.
You can see,
do you want me to come over here?
So far, the noodles are not, the pasta are not breaking. So it's, we have to keep this situation going because.
Yeah. So you're just kind of just gingerly like moving them around so they're not sticking to each other, but you don't want to like totally break them up or anything. Okay.
And not having the water boil too aggressively.
Oh yeah, that's a good point because you just have like a simmer going, like a low boil. You don't have this like aggressively popping everywhere.
Put the pasta directly into without even going through. But first, actually, I want to try the pasta.
Okay.
Just to make sure that it's
done.
That it's done.
Give it the taste test.
Last time I did 8 minutes, and this time I'm just shorting a little bit more. So.
Okay. And goes our timer. So Eugenia wanted to remind everybody that even though the package says that it takes 12 minutes to make this, she recommends about 7 minutes. 12 minutes is much too long. So you're at 7 minutes now. What do you think? Does it need another minute or so?
It's because of the structure of the pasta, you will notice a little bit of a hardness sometimes in some points. But I rather at this point take it out soon.
Yeah.
But it's up to you. If you don't like
you don't like any hard. Yeah.
Just let it be for 1 more minute though, no more than 8 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm guilty of overcooking pasta. That's a
You know, in general, when the
bad
pasta
thing.
is pasta from a grocery store, this is fresh pasta.
Mhm.
So, and then it's dried.
Yeah.
So it's particularly fragile.
Okay.
The grocery store pasta usually
It's more forgiving.
holds
Yeah.
very well and doesn't have these issues.
This looks so good already. I mean, I just love, like, it's such a unique for us.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, for us Americans who don't, you know, get exposed to all the different shapes out there and stuff. This is like, it almost looks like spatzel or something. Like, it's like very interesting shape and like.
All right. We just lost one.
Okay.
Now,
are you gonna bring?
Actually, I'm gonna bring this over there.
Bring it over to where. Okay. So you never put any cheese into this pesto.
Actually,
so far?
No. So far, I will put it just once. I put it directly in the pan.
Okay. All right, so you're just scooping it all in.
Put it in there.
Oh my gosh, that looks so good. I love the color. Yes, I guess I'm just like not used to seeing, the tomatoes.
And it's kind of also very Italian. It's the green, the red.
Oh
the
yeah,
white,
totally.
The almonds.
Yes.
So. Okay. So now I'm gonna unfortunately break the pasta a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Because
so you're just drizzling on some more oil, extra virgin olive oil,
some cheese.
Okay. And this is the pecorino. I know when I buy it at Piggly Wiggly, it's labeled as Pecorino Romano.
Pecorino Romano. Not everywhere they have it.
Okay. All right, and now you're bringing it back over to the stove because you want to warm it through.
Warm it just a little bit.
Okay.
Without, of course, hopefully, you will avoid breaking the pasta.
Okay, so you're just being like, just ever so slightly, just tossing it. All right. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. When I arrived and I met your husband, he confirmed that he's on the receiving end of a lot of awesome dishes coming out of this kitchen.
Well, you need time to cook, so it's, but for us in Italy, cooking is something that you do every day.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to move it too much.
Okay. All right. So last step is plating, right?
Plate it and,
oh, yum. That looks so good. Wow.
And still, you want
so colorful and just so pretty.
Colorful.
Oh, okay. So a little bit more oil. Okay. Yeah. It's a pretty plate too.
Yes. This is the ceramics that I also sell at the store.
Oh, nice.
From Palermo, he and his company make. I'll add some more.
I just love your shop. Like, I am so happy to go there and find all these interesting pasta shapes and like high quality tomatoes and stuff. I made a deep dish pizza with the San Marzano tomatoes, and they were so good. They made such a difference. Oh, so pretty. Yay. Well, thank you so much. I have a mask on, so I'm not going to eat any at this time anyway. But thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you to everybody.
Yes. And if anybody has any questions, please just type them in the comments on Facebook, and Eugenia will answer them, or I will answer them when we revisit the page. And thank you to Bricks 340 for their wine recommendations. If you cooked along with us today, take a picture of your dish and put it in the comment section. We would love to see what everybody else ended up with.
Yes.
So I guess that's all. Visit Eugenia at Chibu's Italian Market. She's right next to Waunakee on Main Street if you didn't see her yet. So yes.
Yes.
All
See you
right.
soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.